Transit's complete failure as the launch map of Black Ops 2 is possibly one of the most interesting case studies Zombies has produced to date, and new theories about why it failed continue to crop up to this day. But for this video, I want to do something different. Not look at what went wrong, but what could have been. Specifically, how Transit's Easter egg could be made into one of the greats. Before we get started, we must take a look at some of the changes that are necessary to Transit in order to facilitate this Easter egg. As with any great Easter egg, we must have a solid map as a foundation first. I'm going to start by asking a question. What is the most useless part of Transit? Which, according to a small sample of my viewers, is farm. And I tend to agree. Useless buildables and just a generally uninteresting area makes it easily the most pointless. I would first remove farm altogether, leaving us with 4 main areas. Town, acting as the central hub, and the other 3 as spokes branching out. The bus route will stay the same, but I will make some significant changes to the lampposts. I will remove all the lampposts from the fog and place 1 in each main area. And instead of acting randomly, they will now transport you to the next location in the opposite direction to the bus. The bus will now have a calling card able to be called at the main locations, and the Pack-a-Punch quest will be replaced. There will be more on these later. And finally, you can hold as many parts as you want at once, and the jet gun no longer breaks. Instead, it has a cooldown much like the paralyzer from Buried. With that out of the way, let's move on to the Easter egg. The game starts off the same, spawning in the bus depot, building the turbine and hopping on the bus, spinning the box and diner, and then now bypassing farm of course, and arriving at power. After switching on the power and receiving voice lines from Maxis and for Stollinger Richtofen, we head to the main centerpiece, town, where things will now diverge from the usual process. Upon arriving at town, you open up the bank and head through the vault. Blowing open the second door now no longer leads to Pack-a-Punch, instead a room containing 3 items, a bus card, a winch, and a photo. The card allowing you to call the bus directly to any of the main locations on the map, and get the bus moving straight away. Now upon taking a look at the photo, you realise it's of the bus, but it looks different. It's got all these additions on it that the current bus is missing, including a winch. Heading outside now, you notice something sticking out of the lava pit, Pack-a-Punch, but it's mostly submerged. It is in this moment you remember the winch you just collected from the bank and the photo of the bus. After applying it to the front of the bus and attaching the cable to the Pack-a-Punch, slowly but surely, Pack-a-Punch is hauled out of the lava and is now accessible in the same way that it is on town. But the whole process has now got you wondering. I mean, sure, the bus now has the winch attached, just like in the photo, but what about the rest? Well, it is at this point that Maxis and Richtofen chime in. Both inform their respective parties that the parts to the bus are scattered around the map, specifically in the 4 main locations. However, they are not able to provide any specific details. With seemingly no sight of any bus parts anywhere in the town, you scour the area looking top to bottom, trying to find a part from the photo, until you come across a cassette player in the bar that, when played, informs you the part is on top of the bowling alley. Great, you now know where it is, but how do you get it down? The jet gun. Sure enough, standing in the center of town and firing the jet gun towards the alley, the part is flung across onto the bar roof, then again across to the jug roof, before finally falling to the ground, where it is then able to be picked up and fitted to the bus. 1 down, 3 to go. Now with this knowledge, you then head towards the other areas and do the same thing again and again and again until you have all 4 parts acquired. The purpose of this from a technical standpoint is to achieve a couple of things. 1. Provide each area with its own unique backstory and make them more interesting instead of just areas within the map. 2. Immerse you more within the story of the map. 3. Provide a bit of logic to the Easter egg steps by describing why and how they are the way they are, instead of just having them there. And 4. Encourage innovation and problem solving, instead of having to refer to an Easter egg guide constantly. As a lot of the most enjoyable parts of Easter eggs tend to be the ones that have the ability to be solved just by playing and applying basic problem solving skills. Now this is the part where you the viewer comes in. I have provided the quest for town, and I encourage you guys to come up with what you think would be some cool and unique quests for the other 3. Make sure to leave a comment down below for any interesting ideas you can come up with. So after applying all 4 parts to the bus, making it identical to the one in the picture, you now hop onto the bus. But there's a problem. After completing a circuit around the map, nothing happens. The bus just continues on as normal, despite the extra attachments applied. It is now a good time to mention that throughout this entire time, Maxis and Richthofen have both simultaneously been trying to convince the group to follow them. And up until this point, Maxis has been the far more persuasive one, with the group having effectively cast Stallinger aside for being crazy. But it's here where all that changes. As the bus is about to depart bus depot for its next lap, Richthofen realizes he has the ability to control the bus driver, Ted. Richthofen informs Stallinger of his plan, and Stallinger subsequently onto the others. And surely enough this time, as the bus enters the tunnel, it starts to pick up speed. Faster and faster until it bursts out the other side of the tunnel, and smashes through the side barriers before Diner, revealing a second secret bus route that leads all the way to the proposed tower. Having now reached the elusive tower, the players now have a dilemma. What before seemed like an obvious choice has now been blown wide open. And this is where you as a team must now decide to either light the tower in favour of Maxis by having players place down at least 2 turbines at once, or Richthofen by placing down 1 turbine and firing the jet gun at the tower, lighting it up in either blue or red, just like it currently does. I think this Easter egg would be perfect for transit in the way that it utilises all aspects of the map, and is centered around the most iconic part, the bus. It is also one that not only has some rationality to it, but one that could be completed just by exploring the map and applying some problem solving skills. I hope that if Treyarch ever decides to recreate transit, we receive an Easter egg not necessarily the same, but one that possesses some similar qualities. If you would like to access some extra content and receive regular updates on videos, or just support me, I have just started a Patreon. These videos will be taking more and more effort and time to make, as I plan to incorporate more and more 3D animation into them. But I appreciate you all tuning in anyway. See you next time.